everyone, it's Zoe and Jo here, and we are here today to talk about what is transformational coaching. Now, we know many of you are already coaches or thinking about coaching and may be baffled by the different types of coaching that people sort of talk about in the industry. And also this thing around niching, like there's always people say, oh, well, if I'm going to train as a coach, maybe I need to niche, and what should I niche in? And Jo and I have had a long experience with coaching of 10 years, and we've never really niched, have we? But I think the one thing that we've said about our coaching is that our style of coaching is transformational coaching. And it's probably about time that we kind of put a label to that and explain really our take on what transformational coaching is and why we see that as you're kind of unique and different, because it's also what we train our coaches to do. So when we have coaches that come on both our coaching training programs and also our CPD events, we are teaching them just what we know in terms of how to coach, and that is in the style of transformational coaching. So where would you start, Jo? What are some of the qualities or attributes of transformational coaching that you see that come through in our work?
Well, the expression we've always used, I think, to describe our work is deep-rooted. So that's kind of an expression we've used more than transformational. So that is about actually working with our coachees and getting to the root cause. So rather than coaching them around the symptoms, so often when they come, coachees have a goal, but that goal really is a symptom of something deeper. And what we're interested in is supporting our coachees to create sustainable, positive change in their lives. And we believe that if we work at the level of symptom, then we're not doing that, because ultimately, when they face another situation in the future, they may feel the need to come back to coaching. And that's not what motivates us. What motivates us is to enable people to be able to coach themselves. And that for us is a sign of success. So to facilitate that level of transformation and deep-rooted coaching, our reflections really have been around, it takes a lot of courage to be able to go on that journey with your clients, because the client may resist it at points. So they want it. There's part of them that wants it. There's part of them then that comes out that kind of resists it. We're working with people's conscious and unconscious minds. Transformational coaching as well, I think, is about being able to integrate a broad range of coaching methodologies to be so not just saying, oh, well, I'm going to use a transactional analysis tool, because, I think that would facilitate some insight, for the client, but actually almost be able to create your own tools in many ways from the toolkit that you've got that really is personalized and tailored to that individual client. And I think clients know the difference. And it's that essence of doing with rather than doing to somebody. So it's helping them to notice patterns, build new patterns, embed positive behaviours, be able to identify when change is wanting to evolve. What more would you add?
Yeah, probably a practical example to highlight the difference. So I think in coaching, clients come with what they want to work on. So let's say, for example, somebody arrives at coaching and they want help with their time management because they're overwhelmed, they're really busy, they've got too much work to do, and they need to get that sorted. Working with the symptom would be coaching somebody around the different approaches that they can take to manage their time better, which might be looking at some planning tools or some prioritization exercises, or helping them to, do some time and study motion things, all of which can be really, really helpful and quite transformational for a client. But we believe that's symptom work. Whereas I think when you look at it from a place of transformational coaching, as the coach, you're bringing courage and you're also bringing curiosity. So the curiosity part of me would say, okay, how come this client is coming to coaching to work on their time management? There's plenty of resources out there of excellent time management tools that will help to address the symptoms of time management. So what is stopping my client from being able to be resourceful, find them and implement them? There is always something that is deeper that gets in the way. And so examples of what that might look like in coaching might be around, is my client self-sabotaging? So are they creating this busy work in order to avoid something else? Might be one route. It might be around thinking, how good is my client at holding boundaries, and what emotions come up for them when they have to hold a boundary and say, no, I can't take that on right now. And is that a pattern actually that shows up in their life, not just in work, but also in other places of the work? And how does that pattern influence their whole life experience? So I think in transformational coaching, you are going much broader first before you come narrow. Now, you might end up in the same place, which is helping your client to put in place prioritization techniques and strategies, but only once they have this awareness of what they're doing, why they're doing it, how it is influencing them, because it's only through awareness that you can really generate change. If you keep doing the things that you've always done, obviously you'll always get the same results. That's quite a popular quote. And transformational coaching really helps people to open their eyes to all the different ways that they are getting in their own way, but also all the resources they haven't tapped into in terms of their strengths and their talent and their wonder that they can use to help them and resource them moving forward.
Yeah, and I think the courage piece comes in around asking the challenging questions. So the questions that might be received with challenge. So obviously you need to contract carefully around how you're going to be together with your client. So you need to have an awareness of your own coaching style, what transformational coaching is going to require in that relationship, to create that safety for the challenge as well as the support. And I think where people can coaches can veer away from the transformational nature of the work is this idea of working with things that come from the past, maybe related to the childhood, and wondering, is this counselling territory rather than coaching territory? I'm not sure, so I'm going to stay in this place over here, rather than understanding about the scripts that we might have that have been generated or created in our childhood that are playing out today in an automatic way. And actually what we can do is help bring our coaches awareness to what those things are. Are they serving them now in terms of achieving their goals, or is there some change work they want to do with them? And the second area I think where coaches can shy away from the transformational nature is when it comes to emotions. So not inquiring about the emotions, not wanting the client to experience emotions, and to keep this space a very space like this. And I think the transformational coaching space is a space where all emotions are welcome. They're welcomed with curiosity, as you say. They're welcomed with acceptance. They're welcomed with an appreciation of them as information and potentially as signals for change. Sometimes people want that space to be held to process emotions, because there is no other place in their life where they can do that. And only when they've come into full contact with those things can they then move into the next phase of getting to where they want to get to. So that requires coaches who want to coach in that way to really get in touch with their own emotions and to develop their language and communication with those things. So let's say if you've got thinking, feeling and doing, you might find a lot of coaches who coach in that thinking space. And that all the work is there, or maybe it's the thinking and the behavior, and they're missing out this middle, key, if you like, that can really unlock. And I think for clients, what we're helping them to do is to create that fluidity between the thinking, the feeling and doing, and understanding how those things relate to one another. So that all those things require us to have a deep level of compassion for the human experience.
Yeah, I was going to say, as you kind of talk about those three factors, I think in transformational coaching, there's a big part of what we do, which is inviting in what isn't there. So a lot of coaches will work what is there. So you'll work with the challenge that the client's experiencing, and you'll work with, what they're saying, and you'll work with their body language that you see. But what are you not seeing? So when your client is showing up to the sessions and they're bringing all this stuff, like what's missing for them? And as you say, sometimes that's the emotion, and you have to actually invite them to bring it into the space. And that can be the most transformational thing. Or it might be connection, connecting like the dots between these different either situations, scenarios, thoughts, emotions, whatever it is. But you as the coach sit there and you might see the pattern, and then you need the courage to kind of say, well, here's what I see. Is this relevant to helping you to move forward? So there's a huge amount of skill that goes into transformational coaching that I think is above and beyond other forms and other approaches of coaching. A lot of it comes with experience, but a lot of it also comes with really stepping into that space yourself and looking at where are my edges. So as I am the coach, how much have I invested in myself and my own learning and my own growth to explore my own patterns and scripts and discomfort, resistance? What do you know if you're noticing in your client work or just in your life in general that you are coming up against something? Perhaps it's some self-doubt or issues of confidence or belief. What's there? Because that, for me, whenever I reach resistance, I'm like, excellent, like there's something here for me, I've got something to learn, and I will go and I will find a coach, a mentor, a program, whatever it is, and I will lean into it, and it always teaches me something that will be helpful to my clients. But if you don't do that for yourself, then you're not really leaning into the transformational coaching space, because it's the kind of the continued journey of, as you said, human experience. And the more experience we have, I think the better we are to make contact with our clients where they're at and the journeys that they want to go on.
Yeah, and I think that's about energy, isn't it? It's allowing that energy to flow and not getting stuck into a way of being, and that can feel quite vulnerable to be in a constant kind of state of change. I think part of transformational coaching is also about being able to coach like content free.
Yeah.
So doing deep work, but in a content-free way, where the client doesn't have to, tell you the whole story about something that's related to a blocker that they've got, for example. But you might work and touch upon things using metaphor. So you're kind of working with the sense, if you like, of what they're stuck with, but they feel safe and able to go maybe where they haven't gone before or wouldn't go before, that can help them to release that blocker in actually what turns out to be a really easy way. And I think that's the other thing to say about transformational coaching is it's not difficult. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be
traumatic for the client. I think there's this kind of sense that because you're working with emotions and you're working with the childhood and you're working with patterns and scripts, that somehow that is like traumatizing. And it's not. It's invigorating often for clients. It excites clients to be discovering these new layers and lenses to themselves, and it's hidden potential. That's really what transformational coaching is. It's tapping into the depths of your client's potential that remain unexplored, that when they make contact with it, they're like, wow, like I had no idea that this was even within me. As you can probably tell, we are deeply passionate about working in our clients in this way. And if you are, invigorated by this, then come and explore how you can kind of partner with Jo and I in different programs that we offer. Take a look at our website, www.igcompany.co.uk. But for now, that's probably enough. We should let them go.